And then my teammates ask me every day, how you feeling? How you feeling?
You played under Mark Jackson for a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, whatever happened to Mark? Because he put that team together, it seems like, and then nobody ever gave him a chance again, which seems weird.
We were just talking about that this morning, and I just talked about it earlier, about playing a part. But if that's not who you really are, you can't play the part, or you can't play the politics game. And I think it was a lot of that. Like, we were huge fans of Mark, the players. He was the ultimate players coach.
You think Mark Jackson is blackballed from the NBA?
I do, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's a lot of information there. Blackballed, bone bruise versus fracture. Shannon, what's your reaction to everything Iggy had to say?
Skip, I told my grandmother, say, boy, there are 3 people that'll tell you the truth. Drunks, kids, and angry people. And I guess there's a 4th, if he or she is peddling a book. Because he's peddling a book, The Sixth Man, a memoir. Oh, Skip Bayless. Andre Iguodala, because I'm listening. I didn't know at the time. I had to do some research because I've listened to it yesterday. I've listened to snippets. I was like, why is he spending all this? Why is he going on this repentance tour? I'm like, what's going on? Oh, okay. So now I see, because Skip, not only is he throwing people under the bus, he driving the bus. He ran on bloop bloop. I don't know if I got you good. He backed up and bloop bloop, run him again, and then bloop bloop right over the top of him.
True.
But Andre Iguodala offered you a glimpse in how it works. And I said this, Skip, because I've been a professional athlete. I don't know if people realize that, but you do.
When was that?
It was a long time ago. 15 years. It was 15
You
years.
just turned 51.
Don't worry about what I turned
ancient history.
Don't worry about it. I still look good for 51. That what
You do. I give you that.
I look good for any age. Don't be talking about 50. Oh, you look good for 51. I look good for
You look
any
good
age.
for 51.
I look good for any age. But anyway, let me get back to my point. Skip, and I said, the team will never tell an injured player, you will play. But what they do is that they keep planting the seeds, not only to you, but they plant it with your teammates. You heard Andre Iguodala say they like, oh, you okay? I mean, everything all right? When you gonna get back out there, bro?
Yep.
Man, boy, we had you. This thing wouldn't even be close. Knowing the competitive nature of athletes. Yeah. It starts getting into your head. Man, I need to get out there. And they keep planting that seed. Now, Iggy said he had a fractured leg. They said it was a bone bruise.
Oof.
So if I'm Kevin Durant, I said, hold on, wait a minute.
Thank you.
You told me I had a calf injury. All the while, it's being reported Kevin Durant's very, very upset with the diagnosis that he got from team staff. We'll get back to that, Skip. The pressure to play, especially because it seems like because Peter Gruber, Skip, I forget the article, but you just a couple of months ago, how they were light years in terms of everybody. And by the time they catch him, by the time the rest of the NBA caught up, they would be gone again.
You mean
Peter Gruber, the owner?
I think it was Joe Lacob who said that.
Was it Lacob?
I believe Lacob.
It was Lacob. It was Lacob. I'm sorry. My fault. It was Joe Lacob.
Yeah.
We're
light years ahead.
Light years.
He did.
And when the rest of the NBA catches up with us, we're going to be gone again. We'll be light years ahead of them again. In other words, we be lying. And we be lying to the players. Skip, this is not good. This is really not a good look for the Golden State Warriors. And it's a worse look for the NBA because it goes to show you that they prioritize winning over an individual. And this is why I tell guys, look, you better go get your second opinion. Because at the end of the day, the team doctors, I understand he takes an oath, but he took another oath, a paycheck oath. And it's coming from the team, not from you. So you go get somebody that's on your payroll and you get them to give you a proper diagnosis, that they have your best vested interest at mind. Skip, the Mark Jackson, you nor I are surprised what Iggy said about Mark Jackson. Because I can't fathom, the man can't get a call. Forget Skip, okay, he got interviewed and said they want to go somewhere else. But we see some of these guys that's getting recycled. Frank Vogel done got a job, done got 2 jobs before this man done got a call. He can't get a call.
Okay.
I hate the term blackball because it has negative connotation. I mean, anytime you say something black, they're in the black market, black magic, blackball. I say white ball. Because, see, white ball, they have the fake. See, if you get blackballed in our community, Skip, what would it do? That means we don't talk to you. Yeah. We can't prevent you from doing anything.
Yep.
But when you get white ball, they can prevent you from doing things, like having a job in the NBA or playing quarterback in the NFL.
It's a good point. Yep.
And he said, Mark Jackson, Mark is very devout in his beliefs.
He is.
And his beliefs do not necessarily coincide. And Andre was speaking about you have to play the political game. Also, Mark has to understand that the country and where he coaches, they're very open-minded. And his beliefs didn't necessarily coincide with their beliefs. Now, I don't know if the owners, Joe Lacob and Peter Gruber, went to him and said, Mark, you need to tone this rhetoric down. I don't know what happened. But if they come to you and they say, you need to tone this down, this is not the time or the place, well, you're going to have to, keep your views to yourself and keep it moving. But for me, I think he's learned. I mean, Mark is who he is. I understand that being Mark is a couple of years older than I am, and we come from a part of the crunch in the South, Skip, that, certain things, we weren't as open-minded when I was growing up as we are now. You live and you learn because
Mark's not from the South.
No, he's from New York, but I'm saying we're that age.
Okay.
But, Skip, and for me, you look at people like, I dislike them because what? They want to marry. You like somebody, you love somebody, Now, as I got older, I judge a person by how they treat me. Not who they with. I care less. You marry a goat, marry a car. As long as you treat me good, I'm cool with you. I'm a people, not what you do. How you treat me, okay, I'm gonna treat you the same, not who you with. So I'm not surprised, but we knew a lot of this, Skip. You covered the game far too long. You know how it works in the NBA. I think Andre offered the fans, the casual fans, and people that don't know how the league, the teams actually work. He gave you a glimpse into
Mark's case any good in getting another job in the NBA, because it dredges up a lot of the old details, many of them highly controversial. Just not sure that was the best thing to say at that moment. But back to Kevin Durant, to your point, when you say that they lied about your bone bruise, that it was actually a fracture, which I had never heard.
No.
So you forced him in a way. You sort of emotionally forced him. And he said his teammates were all saying, "You good?
You good? When you coming back?
Coming back?" To come back with a fracture of some kind and play in the NBA Finals, because he did play in those games, sparingly, but he did play, and he played pretty well. So if you're saying, if you put it in the Kevin Durant context, then it feels like that they misled Kevin. That's the inference you're making, right? Well, why would Kevin want to rejoin that? Why would he re-sign with that?
You wouldn't.
Okay.
Especially after that group. Skip, it's hard for me to trust. Look, if I have an injury like that, Skip, it's hard for me to regain the trust that you're going to be 100% honest with me moving forward. I don't know how KD gets that back with this team.
Yep, I agree. To Mark Jackson. I know Mark, and I'm a fan of Mark.
So am I. And
I do believe he did a terrific job with a young team, because remember, he had Steph and Clay very young, as Clay was a rookie in his first year. So they go 23-43, and then they went 47-35. They lost to my Spurs in 6 games, and it was a hellacious battle in the first round. And then they go 51-31. It's pretty great. And they lose to the Clippers in round 1 in 7 games, and it was a knockdown, drag out. So those players still love him because he taught them how to play NBA basketball.
Especially defense.
He laid all the groundwork for the dynasty that was about to rise out of that. But I'm going to use another Joe Lacob quote here. When Mark was fired, Joe Lacob's quote was, part of it was he couldn't get along with anyone else in this organization. So we transcend all of his staunch religious viewpoint, and he is a pastor. He is called Pastor Mark. But beyond that, Mark is his own man, and I know him well enough to tell you he's got like Jimmy Butler in him. He won't back down to anybody.
That's so New York City in him.
You got it. That is true. And so it's his way. It's not the organization way. No, I do it my way. And don't you come in my office, anybody above him, owners, executives, don't come in my office and tell me how we're going to run this ship. I run it. And after a while, if you push back hard enough upstairs, they'll push you right out the back door. And you know how it works. And that's just life in America, right? Life anywhere.
It is.
Right? So again, staunch in his beliefs, and some people believe highly controversial stances, and we could go on and on about that, but it was bigger than that. because he did want to preach to his players. And a lot of them at that point, it was a very Christian team.
Right.
And a lot of them went to his church with him.
Right.
And on Wednesday night, he would preach to the team if you chose to come.
Right.
And they would stream it back to his church, which he had at that point in Van Nuys, which is here in Southern California.
Right.
So that's going on. And obviously, ownership became concerned. Well, what if we draft somebody who doesn't believe in what Mark believes?
Well, they don't got to go.
They don't have to go.
Because,
right?
Skip, I mean,
but then there was the questions get raised. Will Mark not play them because they don't believe what Mark's preaching? Or, that can get very dicey.
I don't believe that would have ever been the case.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we had guys, I mean, our team, we had Bible study, and if you wanted to go, you could choose or not.
Okay,
Skip, they have prayer in the locker, they have prayer in the shower. Okay, prayer. Okay, fine, you do you. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm not forcing.
But your head coach wasn't leading Bible study.
No,
right?
no. He was not.
Okay.
He was not. They attended. I'm sure Dan. I mean, Dan was very religious. He would go, but they're just like, if you want to go, you're welcome to come. If not, no harm, no foul. It's just, and I agree with you. I don't know if Iggy did Mark any favors by going into like the kind of the details of what transpired. If they told Mark, if the ownership told Mark, we don't want you preaching on. If you want to preach on your off time, you want to go to a church, have at it. But we don't want you doing it here. If they did that, I don't know. Like I said,
by the way, I think they thought Mark was spending too much of his off time in Van Nuys at the church because he was still, quote unquote, like a full-time pastor of the church.
Yes, he was.
So after a while, in their eyes, he became expendable. Would I like to see him get another job? Sure, I would. Just on basketball principles.
Yes.
Can he coach? You better believe he can coach. Does he have a good job right now? Yeah.
He's very good.
Got a really good job, and he's really good at it.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're great at, not good, they're great at what they do.
They're great. I agree.
Always fun to watch and listen to those guys. And NBA